Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me and allowing me to continue to be your daily advocate. If you're new here or you're not subscribed for any reason, please do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button. Thank you to all of you who have been watching and following me for so long. It truly means a lot, and I'm glad that I can be this person.
$10 to $15, that range is still in the cards. We are still making higher lows on the XRP chart. Of course, this is going to take time to play out. Wanted to thank Dark Defender here for pointing this out. Also, Michael at Val5Links did retweet this out, so I also wanted to just give him credit too. Wrath of Kahneman, guys, he just posted this. This has to do with another Ripple partner. Ripple partner Tempest FX was renamed under their new patent, Monex USA. They still present their Ripple use, especially in the Canadian-US corridor, and are fully licensed in every state in the United States. So here's the briefing on that. Tempest, a leading provider on international payments and foreign currency exchange transactions, is excited to announce that they are changing their company name. After 23 years operating in the US as Tempest, this corporate rebranding serves to unify their global entity under their parent company, Monex. In addition, this move celebrates years of delivering innovative, tailored solutions designed to mitigate foreign exchange exposure and address unique business needs. Here's a quote, guys. "We are excited to take our parent company's name," explains Juan Pablo Carriedo, CEO of Tempest. "With our company focus on frictionless cross-border transactions, we want the same for our branding, a seamless global name to unite the financial services, strength, and expertise of the Monex institution." So they proudly focus on frictionless cross-border transactions. Of course, being a Ripple partner, that does not surprise me. The quote goes on by saying, "With the global unification of our Monex brand, we will continue to accelerate revenue growth in our corporate business systems." This coming from Hector Lagos, chairman and CEO of Monex. "Building on the unparalleled success of Tempest in the US, our collective 36 years of FX experience will strengthen our position as one of the largest global business payment companies in the world." So big news in the world of global business payments. This company, Tempest, Ripple enabled, now changing their name to Monex to just streamline their business, giving them a unified look. And considering they say they specialize in frictionless cross-border payments, I think this will serve them well. Anyway, great news there from the Wrath of Kahneman. Wanted to bring this up too, guys, from the Cryptic Poet. So this has to do with the Algorand Foundation. And guess who they just appointed as their CEO? Former JP Morgan exec Stacey Warden is now named the Algorand Foundation CEO. So Stacey Warden also brings experience from roles at the Milken Institute, NASDAQ, and the US Treasury Department. So here are some of the highlights, guys. By leveraging the Algorand protocol and open source software, the Algorand Foundation seeks to create an open, public, and permissionless blockchain. As we know, Warden joined the Algorand Foundation board in September, and she will replace Sean Lee, who spent the last 18 months as CEO and is exploring career opportunities outside the organization. Getting into crypto, so Warden first dabbled in crypto during her time at the Milken Institute, where she ran the organization's global market development practice. She was also tasked with being a resource for financial education to the press while working at a nonprofit, and in 2013, people became curious about Bitcoin. Warden made in her mission to better understand the digital asset and the technology behind it. She told Blockworks, listening to industry pioneers such as Gavin Anderson and Brock Pierce in her spare time. Here is a quote, "I thought it was really the most amazing thing that I had ever come across." That's her on crypto. The idea of the proof of work behind Bitcoin and the idea that it was a trustless environment. So she's just talking about her thoughts of Bitcoin. Now the ecosystem, though, blockchain, cryptocurrency, it has grown up. And the companies that are going to be changing the face of finance, Algorand being one of them, are going to need heavy hitters in the space with that financial background. So JP Morgan, the Milken Institute, as well as an innovative, I guess, out-of-the-box way of thinking. And so now they've chosen Stacey Warden to be their CEO. And just quickly down here, the outlook for Algorand, with an estimated 1.7 billion people globally that do not have access to finance. Warden argued that Algorand, or the Algorand protocol, is best equipped with its speed, security, and decentralization to address that problem at scale. Stacey understands the potential for Algorand to become a dominant layer 1 blockchain, and she has the experience and expertise to drive our global efforts to scale and to deliver outstanding value to the community. This coming from the Algorand Foundation Board Chairman Kieran Guilfoyle. That's what he said in a statement. "I know she will waste no time in shifting the Algorand Foundation into its expansion phase." So, Algo tokens, guys, still a steal of a deal. And full disclosure, I do invest in Algorand. I do have an Algorand position, Algo USD. What's it trading at right now? Algorand trading right now at about 90 cents US. So actually in a very, very nice level of support. Whoops, I didn't want the Fibonacci up there. Nice support level here for Algorand, doing the exact same thing, coming back down, retracing in this level that we saw over here. It did pump over the last few days to about $2.83, but now we're seeing that retrace. So Algo also in a great spot. Wanted to thank the Cryptic Poet for bringing that to our attention. And guys, did you realize the Federal Reserve is doing this? This coming from BondCrypt XRP. So what are they doing? Federal Reserve to test the ability of the largest banks to weather a recession. They are testing this out. I mean, the economy is not looking too great, and I think that that is no surprise, at least to the people watching this channel. And so here's what they're doing. The Fed is testing the ability of the largest US banks to weather a hypothetical recession. And that is if markets deteriorate and unemployment jumps above 10%. The so-called stress test sees how banks would react to drastic market and economic shocks, and that will feature a scenario in which a severe global recession leads to heightened stress in commercial real estate and corporate debt markets, the Fed said. In a severely adverse scenario, U.S. unemployment rises nearly 6 percentage points to a peak of about 10% in the third quarter of next year, the Fed said. The large increase in the unemployment rate is accompanied by a 40% decline in commercial real estate prices, widening corporate bond spreads, and a collapse in asset prices, including increased market volatility. And so they are testing this out. Of course, printing money doesn't help matters. I was just talking about this to some friends last night. We were just talking about groceries and how the prices have gone up, and I was talking about inflation and how, it's almost like an illusion. The price of groceries is going up because our money is worth less. And they said, no, it has nothing to do with that. It's because there were floods in this area here, and that's why this is more money. I'm like, guys, please, come on. I mean, inflation isn't the only factor, but if you seriously think it's because of a flood in one location, that's the reason why all groceries have gone up in price. Anyway, there was a lot to unpack, and I really didn't want to get into it. Anyway, here's the Fed stress testing the economy because they likely see that the writing is on the wall. They know that this financial system cannot hold up much longer, and so they're doing their best, I suppose, to be prepared when, not if, when that occurs. And it's interesting because I also saw this from Real XRP Boy here on Twitter. Must be so hard not to mention Ripple and XRP. This is a clip of Kristalina Georgieva, the managing director at the IMF. And if you listen to this in detail, I mean, we already know about the connections that the IMF has with Ripple and XRP. You listen to what she's saying, what she's talking about, without saying it, well, you be the judge.
By creating a much more efficient system in which central bank digital currencies and privately issued stable coins or e-money can collaborate. What is the central bank doing? It is providing finality. It is the final settlement, and it provides interoperability so private money can be trusted. And that continues to be necessary with the stable coins. They are backed by assets. They are convertible in say US dollars or other national currencies. And all this is going to be done on platforms, provided we have good, well-regulated private money, and provided we have interoperability globally for CBDCs that does not require time. It is instantaneous. And it is still final settlement. It still does the stability that our economies require. That is a huge opportunity. Second big opportunity, we can imagine a world in which regional there can be a regional bank that brings the reserves, digital reserves of members, and allows for better reserve provision for a whole set of countries. And when I think about the future, for small countries, that may be a fantastic opportunity to become stronger and more resilient on that basis. And three, when we think about cross-border payments, which are today still expensive, slow, that is going to be already we see it, and it's going to be a completely different world.
So notice in this clip, Kristalina Georgieva, she mentions a lot of those, I suppose we could call them buzzwords that we've heard over the years, describing how RippleNet can actually benefit the financial system. And so because we know there's already a connection with the IMF, she mentions finality, final settlement, interoperability, and in that third point right at the end of the clip there, she talks about cross-border payments today and how they're so slow, and she says we can already see it's going to be a different world. So, to me, it's interesting, knowing what we know, because we've done our research, it is interesting to hear them continue to bring up these points. In a new financial system, we are going to have a new mechanism that does source for that. We know it's going to be Ripple XRP related. And so just a great clip here from Real XRP Boy here on Twitter. Wanted to thank him for bringing that up. Digital Asset Buy posted this, planned long ago, retweeting out Tag's tweet here. This is actually a screen grab from Tag. The SpaceXX XRP wallet has some very interesting transaction ancestry history. These accounts, at quick glance, have hundreds of millions of XRP flowing through them, maybe even in the billions. Haven't quite dug through these yet, but here's just a screen grab just demonstrating what he is talking about. The SpaceXX XRP wallets, I have a feeling you guys probably know what that has to do with. I did a video on that about 4 months ago, and this is the thumbnail of that video. And I will link it up here in the top right-hand corner if you guys want to check it out. New evidence suggests Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, and Andreessen Horowitz own about 17 million XRP. And so Tag XRP bringing this up again. Digital Asset Buy also found this clip and posted this back in May. This is Peter Thiel, the co-founder of PayPal with Elon Musk in 1999. And so these were those days right over there, the late 90s. You can see Elon Musk has since changed his hairdo. And so the hypothesis is that this was planned long ago. PayPal Galactic was announced in 2013, yet nobody has heard anything about it since. The same year, Thiel's foundation fund invests in Ripple to build a better Bitcoin, the Internet of Value. Listen to this clip, guys.
That's the kind of choice governments like China, India, some of these other countries are going to face. They will either have to shut down the telecommunications network and make it illegal for you to own a cell phone, or they will have to basically give up the kind of monetary sovereignty they've had and the enormous power that they've been able to wield as a result of this kind of sovereignty over the last many years. And I think this process is already full-fledged. The dollarization worldwide is going to be accelerated enormously by the technology. Now, the second theme is a little bit more speculative, and that is that getting rid of money altogether, going from digital dollars, from any kind of government-backed currency to purely private currencies. And what a private currency, or what private money, I think, fundamentally means is that there is no medium of exchange. You exchange value for value rather than exchanging value for something the government says has value for value. And whenever you have this intermediate step of the government saying something has value, that's where you have the subterfuge, the sort of legerdemain come in, the game of musical chairs where every now and then a chair gets pulled out and it turns out that you're the one holding a dollar bill that's all of a sudden become worth a little bit less.
Okay, and I'm going to stop it there. I will leave this tweet in the description of the video if you guys want to watch further, but he was saying this years ago, decades ago actually. PayPal Galactic was announced in 2013. We haven't heard anything since, and yet we do know it is on the record that Peter Thiel's Founders Fund did invest in Ripple to build a better Bitcoin in and around that time. So some interesting connections here. And again, if you guys didn't see this video that I did a few months ago, I suggest you check that out as well. Great find here. Wanted to thank Tag XRP and Digital Asset Buy for posting that. And of course, Anderzel posting this. Now, he's retweeting out this tweet from XRP Crypto Wolf. Russia set to recognize crypto as a form of currency. This came out earlier this past week. And so who's this? Okay, she was also sitting here at the table at the SNB BNS conference back in 2019. You know, that was the same conference, as R6 mentioned, where Brad Garlinghouse also had a seat at the table, and Anderzel posted that panel discussion right over here if you guys are interested in checking that out, the IMS in a changing global financial world. So we know, I talked about this last week, Russia moves closer to accepting crypto as currency. I will link this in the description if you guys didn't catch the video I did on that. But who is this woman? She is Elvira Nabiullina, women at the center of Russia's ruble collapse. This was from back in 2014. So she's got some history with regards to Russia's financial system. And if you look at her Wikipedia page over here, you can see she is a Russian economist and head of the Central Bank of Russia. So that is likely why she was at this important conference way back in 2019. She was Russian President Vladimir Putin's economic advisor between May 2012 and June 2013, after serving as a Minister of Economic Development and Trade from September 2007 to May of 2012. As of 2019, she is listed as the 53rd most powerful woman in the world by Forbes magazine. So head of the central bank in Russia. We also heard that as of 2018, Russia was piloting a Ripple-enabled system that would provide superior cross-border transactions, and I did a video about that as well. I will link that up here in the top right-hand corner. But the more interesting thing here, in and around this time, the time that this panel occurred, it was only a few years ago, I believe it was 2019, we see Elvira here, and Nathaniel C.J. Rothschild posted this. Is this a castle? Or rather, is it a ship? And is this the ship from the Bearable Guy riddle that was also posted in and around that time, actually about a year later, April of 2020? Interesting to note that that is the same logo that the Central Bank of Russia uses. Now we're hearing as of 2022, the Central Bank of Russia, or rather Russia, is now moving closer to accepting crypto as a currency. As of 2018, it was pointed out that Russia was trialing RippleNet in order to conduct cross-border transactions. And as you can see, as per this tweet here, we have Elvira Nabiullina at the same conference that Brad Garlinghouse was at in 2019. So, I mean, you gotta ask yourself, was this a clue from the Bearable Guy riddle that maybe we missed? How big is this Russian connection? And is this move from Russia bigger than we even expect? Is this going to be responsible for how the financial markets change in the coming decades? We also know just a couple of weeks ago that Putin and Xi Jinping put out a statement that they were aiming at a Russia-China partnership against the US in order to be able to trade in and amongst themselves to subvert the US dollar so that they do not have to be reliant on the US greenback.
So enjoy your day, everybody. I'm always here for you. Leave any comments or questions below, and be sure to subscribe. But thanks, everybody. I really appreciate you. Enjoy your day, and I always have your back. So thanks so much, everybody.